reason they pay me. The first one and last one up out of the building, cause what I've been building is crazy. This, that, hard work, my state built different. All day, it's go time. Yeah, we been on a mission. Better hope you ain't slacking when you run into me. Cause every day I check my back. We ready for war, so know it's convenient. Ain't gotta be ready if you stay ready. Ready and now, we coming for top spot, let's see. Through the highs, lows, in between, you gotta be steady. But you gotta know, there's one thing if you coming for me. Shit, all day, it's go time. I'm ready for war. Just know this, ain't no time. We came equipped heavy with more. All day, it's go time. I'm ready for war. Just know this, ain't no time. We came equipped heavy with more. Bet that I can't lose, and no. Came in blind and I was shining. Had to prove my growth. And now, look at me, undefeated, unbeaten. Don't believe it. Cause every day I check my back. We ready for war, so know it's complete. Gotta be ready if you stay ready. Ready and now, we coming for top spot, let's see. Through the highs, lows, in between, you gotta be steady. But you gotta know, it's one thing if you coming for me. Shit, all day, it's go time. I'm ready for war. Just know this, ain't no time. We came equipped heavy with more. All day, it's go time. I'm ready for war. Just know this, ain't no time. We came equipped heavy with more. All day, it's go time. I'm ready for war. Just know this, ain't no time. We came equipped heavy with more. All day, it's go time. I'm ready for war. Just know this, ain't no time. We came equipped heavy with more. All day, it's go time. I'm ready for war. Just know this, ain't no time. We came equipped heavy with more.
Hey everybody. Oh wow, my yeah, I guess when I do remove like the saturation and stuff and the PM stuff, it makes me look a little bit more washed out in this time frame. But you know what? It is what it is. It's better than me just looking insanely yellow at the last end of the streams all the time. But welcome to the chat. Oh, Kaisedo appeared. Welcome into the stream. Yes, it does work. And then I think if you try the dad joke one, yeah, let's see if this works this time. It's supposed to work. I think I might have fixed it. There was like I forgot the squiggly bracket at the back of the command. Hey, let's go. Why wouldn't the bicycle stand up by itself? It was too tired. Ooh. Oh man. I'm not a dad, so I probably shouldn't laugh as much, but I love dad jokes. I love me some good dad jokes. All right. I do. How you doing, Ibra? Welcome into the chat. Make sure, by the way, I added, I don't know how we're going to validate these things, or what kind of store ways you guys can unlock stuff. I don't know. I have to figure stuff out, but if you guys have suggestions on what you guys want to get out of chatting and whatnot, I do have points that are kind of I guess if you chat at least, I don't even know what the timing frame is, you get points if you chat within every 5-minute increments, then it gives you like a point or something like that for participating in live streams. I don't know how we're going to or what we're going to allow you guys to redeem with that. I think I might add like at a certain point level, you guys get like a free subscription to the Patreon, like the the $5 tier or something like that. I might add that in there. Let me know if there's anything else you guys would like special shout outs or whatever it might be. I've seen different gamers do different things where they'll give you like something like maybe like a 1v1 or something like that. I don't know how we can really do something like that with visual effects streams, but I'm open to ideas and suggestions. I think currently where we're at, let me look at the numbers here. I'm going to pull up the numbers from last week to see how y'all did in the chatting ring of things. But how have you guys been this week? Have you guys been staying productive? I hope. This week I was quite productive. we actually, I finished up a, whoops, cancel. Let's actually log into a different account. I was logging into the wrong YouTube account. This week, I finished up a feature film that I've been working on for the last few months, and I'm really excited about where that has come and all that. And I want to show you guys some of that stuff coming forward. It's a little hard because like right now we just finished up the shots, but you know, I'll be able to show you guys that stuff soon. Let's see. Let's pull up the cloud bot. Let's pull up points, loyalty points. So I think currently the leader of the most points received right now is Okaisido at 19 points. Okaisido, you have the most points out of the stream so far. Followed up by Cyberdex Gaming, which actually is a new subscriber with 13. So there you guys have it for the current week's point count of where we're at with the chat points. But congratulations, Okaisido, for having the most points from last week's stream. Since we started last week, that is all the points that are currently in the stream. But as I said, I'll try to set up something with the loyalty store. I don't know how that works on YouTube. I know in Twitch there's like a little button in the bottom hand corner. I would imagine there's some kind of link or something, because this is all through Streamlabs, and Streamlabs keeps count of like all of your points that you have and everything like that. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and look at what we're working on this week. This is kind of our reference image that we have that is kind of the shot that we're recreating inside of Blender. We did a little bit of animation last week, and then this week we will be finishing up that animation, polishing it, and then doing the texturing and lighting inside of the shot as well. And then off camera, I'll render out the sequence, and then the following week, next week, we will composite inside of Nuke, because obviously we're going to add that little extra touch of happiness onto it. I do want to actually, before we jump into the stream today, I want to give a special shout out to our Patreon subscribers here. These amazing people help keep the channel going. They get access to all of the live stream project files, as well as early uploads of all of the tutorials, but also exclusive tutorials that are only available to Patreon members. So if you guys want to join that, and there is also a Discord VIP room that they get access to. It's not used very much yet, and maybe I'll have to incorporate some more shenanigans with inside of that. But again, thank you guys to all these wonderful people that are helping support the channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the video today. So I have our folder structured like this. We're going to clean up our animation. I also already have our project file of Blender open here. And this is kind of the roughed out animation that we've created so far that we're going to go ahead and polish. Currently it's super steppy because I'm only showing the main hero poses. But today we're going to smooth it out, make it really clean and work really well for us. Trying to hit that like pop motion that she has, and so we're probably going to want the arms to kind of like flail backwards a little bit with the weight of this thing. This gun is pretty heavy, and we need to sell the fact that it is pretty heavy. So we're probably going to go into here first, and then I'm just going to select everything, and then we'll change the interpolation mode now to Bezier. This will allow us to see everything kind of in that smooth motion. The reason why we did stuff in hero poses first was so that way we could hit those positions that we wanted without having to, you know, be too much concerned. I think we're going to want her to hold her arms up here for a moment before she starts to pull them back. So I do like that. It's like at this point right here, I almost feel like her arms should be a little bit more positioned upwards because I want it to feel super heavy on the decline of the gun here. So right there. And then this is where, like, probably grabbing both these bones, we can just grab this last bit and we're just gonna have that swing. Maybe even a little faster. This is a little bit easier because we already have those poses set up, and we're going to set up additional poses probably let's have it rest here after a few frames, but I do want it to snap back a little bit too far and then reset. Hey, how you doing, Hasselhoff? If you do exclamation mark hello, it gives you like a little shout out inside the chat, by the way. I already did mine for today, but you can see that a little bit up there. First time seeing the project? Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. And then there's also a dad joke if you're into that. But, you know, I might be the exception on the ones that really like it. I'm going to hide this for right now. Let's just hide our guns. That way we're not seeing any of our props. I'm just going to disable that inside of our outline window over here. And then let's smooth out some of this, like, right, you know, like I think it kind of works, but we probably want to hit more of those snappy positions. She's going to lift up her leg a little bit more, maybe. Probably even a little bit more so up here, and you love them. The first thing you did when you got your Alexa was asking for dad jokes. What do you call a factory that makes okay products? A satisfactory. That's awesome. By the way, I used ChatGPT to create these, so I don't even really know all of them. So I'm not laughing at my own jokes, by the way. I think the plan is that I'm going to replace all of them by the next stream. So that way we're not hitting the same ones over again. I think we just make this a little snappier with how she like puts her leg up. I like that, but I do think that there needs to be a little bit more of a bounce to like when she hits the ground to make us feel, again, just kind of like duplicate this, but then maybe actually have this go back a little bit further, and then it's just more so like we're hitting that extra wiggle bone. It's going a little far for my taste, but you know, let's just clean that up. She probably has to compensate her head, of course, you know. Like set a keyframe there, but then like a few frames. How many dad jokes did you put? I think I'm only allowed to do like 4 or 5. There's like 4 or 5 that you guys have to hit. It does do randoms, and there is a time limit on doing it. I think I have 1 to 2 minutes, so you can't spam through them too fast. There is a little bit of a timing thing to it. I didn't want you guys to blaze through them too quickly, okay? I do want... Okay, so when this hits that, then settles back, I almost want it to come back a little bit further. Okay? That's feeling pretty good. And then let's settle again a little bit as if it's a little heavy coming backwards. Maybe not. Let's bring that down a little bit. That feels pretty good. I love how the camera is still doing its jitter monkey. Let's stop that. Let's change the interpolation mode here to Bezier curve. Swap that to Bezier curve. There we go. Everything should be a little bit smoother, at least with the camera move now. For our sake, let's go ahead and also create a whole new window here. I'm going to disable all kind of visual bones. That way we can see this a little bit smoother just with our character. By the way, I don't know if you did for a certain reason, but you can use a bone for the weapon, use a child of the constraint to the left hand, and then track to the right hand. Yeah, you could do that. I mean, you could also do that with an empty, by the way. I just decided to use an empty just because it was the first thing that I did. You're right. I could have used a bone, but you can also use constraints with empties. So I'm not exactly limited necessarily. It's just mostly. Okay, let's just have her pop back up. Maybe not. I don't think I like that. That's feeling okay. I don't like how her hair kind of like snaps back. I do think that it kind of should have maybe... Okay, well, we'll see if this is too much. I want the silhouette to be very clear. It's a little much. Just going to smooth this out a little bit. Just grab that. This is where things get a little easy, you know? Okay, you know what? Let's just have it slow down here. Oh, I think I have a problem here as well. I don't know. Physics-wise, it kind of makes sense for the hair to snap that way, but you almost want to have the hair go the opposite direction. And also want, when she stands up, I have it pretty subtle right now. I want from like right here. Can we have her foot a little bit further back? Let's put a cursor down. This is where like inverse kinematics is really nice because I could just like lift the whole rig. Guys, I'm not a rigger, okay? Let's do this whole thing, okay? So I'm gonna grab all of this. That's now so rigid. We probably... Feels a little too rigid. What is this doing for me? Gotta smooth that out where it doesn't feel like, because right now everything is kind of just like revolving around. The weight isn't shifting, and we need that weight to shift a little bit better. Probably have her go forward on that movement. Just gotta like kind of heave it backwards. I feel like her lips or her hips just kind of like lock into place at this point. And they don't, for lack of a better word, they don't jiggle enough. So let's just lock this foot down like the front of the bone there, and then kind of position this to have her leg reposition a little bit. So you rotate that down. It's feeling a little bit better. You would let the right foot start closer to the left one so that the movement is accentuated, and then the upper body would compress more while lifting the foot. The right elbow would tilt further up. Yeah, you're probably right. Let's try that. Just rotate this a little bit more like this. Kind of in here. I do like that quite a bit better, yeah. That is very much more accentuated. And then as far as the arms go, you're right. We could probably try going a little bit higher. Just so we can get the full pose of that down. Probably the shoulders are not exactly what we want, but maybe don't go that high up. Wait a second. I got an idea. Let's pull this back. And then when we go all the way up to this point, the arms are going all the way. There we go. It's like, whoop, bam, you know. Hey, Diego, welcome to the chat. Yeah, dude, I'm not like a pro at setting up inverse kinesmatic rigs, so that's why I didn't do this one that way. Probably would have been smart to do it that way. If you haven't acted it out, it really helps getting. No, I kind of acted out, man. I sit here and I act it out. You know, that's the problem with doing these live streams, is that they're a little more live. Oh, that's feeling good. Don't want it to feel too bouncy. Thanks, Diego. Appreciate it. Still a work in progress, of course, but you know, we're getting it. I'm not like an animation connoisseur. I'm not like an animation connoisseur, but you know, I understand the principles of the thing. Mostly find myself doing monster animation work. Creature animation. That's actually what I spent most of my last year doing, because I have the werewolf short film that I did. So this stuff is a little, you know, it's decently similar. It's when you get into like doing facial expressions with character animation that gets a little different. Think of that. It's looking pretty good to me, guys. Till we hit the gun in there. So let's do that. So we got our gun prop. And you know what? I like your idea. Hasselhoff, I really like your idea. Let's constrain it to the left arm here rather than keyframing it, which is a very smart idea. We want it to be on, let's put it on this bone. This is bone 24. We're going to give you a proper name, sir. Left hand. Okay? Mr. Left Hand over here. And then for this guy over here, we're going to have it always point towards right hand. Okay? Just by changing those bone names. And then inside of our empty, let's go ahead and add in a constraint to child of the rig and left hand. And we'll do set inverse kinesmatics because we're already kind of in the right realm of where we want it to be. Let's just fix this guy. So only like that. And then we'll do track 2. Looks good so far, but you think you could move a bit more of the hair. Yeah, let's screw around the hair here in a moment. Let's see. First, let's set this gun up. We'll do track 2. Select your armature again, and then select the right hand. That's what we want. And it is not correct. Although it's funny because it is kind of correct, but it's not correct. Probably if I play this back, yeah, it's like it is correct. It's just the position of the gun with inside of the gun with inside the gun. I know, super descriptive. And let's do this, actually. I'm going to duplicate my empty here. And I'm going to select the other empty. Whoopsies. Can I select any empties now? What's going on? So we've got the duplicated empty. If I move around it, it does not include the gun. So let's go ahead and then delete the oopsies. We don't want to delete the constraints for that. But then our other empty, we're going to take this, and then we are going to delete our constraints that we created here. And then let's go back to our keyframing here. This empty, if we go ahead and select the other empty, like so press Shift Select. We'll do Control P, Object, Keep Transform. This will allow us to move the one empty however we want, this guy right here, whereas this one is always going to be parenting to the hands and pointing the correct direction. If we then select inside of our outliner and make this selectable, I want to take this dude. Let's call this pointer empty. Let's make you non-selectable. And honestly, we don't need to be visible either. We don't need to see this guy. Doesn't matter if you deselect render or not, because you're not going to be able to do it anyways. So now, this is basically going to act like a bone, and we can actually animate it to be wherever we want. So if we want to use this, but, oh, whoops, the, constraint of this is not exactly correct, we can always animate it to be better however we want. That should move better. If you lift something really heavy, you lift your hip and shoulder, lift shoulder and leg. Think of lifting some water bottle. The elbow tilts up and your shoulder supports the movement. Oh, you're kind of right. The shoulders should move first. You're not kind of right. You are right. Let's go ahead and disable the gun real quick. Let's get that movement to happen. I'm not actually animating the shoulders at all right now, so this is a good time to animate the shoulders. So we will set up keyframes here. Let's see, let's just grab you. Why can't I set you as a keyframe? Keyframe set failed? What's going on? We don't like keyframes on this dude? Well, that's so weird. Now it works. Let's go ahead and set these to be a little bit more relaxed at first. This is fine to be stuck out. I'm going to set up a... Due to setting only insert needed, 4 keyframes have been inserted. There we go. Probably at this point have the shoulders kind of lift upwards. And then that's going to go up. I think that we could probably then set some more keyframes here. And then when this goes back down, we can actually have these like kind of almost snap backwards under the weight. And then bounce backwards slightly. Beautiful. Might now just accentuate this a little bit more. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's definitely loosening up her a little bit. Also with her hair, I think the thing that bothers me is it happens a little too quick. Let's just grab her hair out here. And then it kind of like kicks back at that point. Let's now kind of keyframe some of this to go down a little bit. I think, let's see if it's going to that point. Let's just keyframe these a little bit to be a little more reactive. I think the problem is that they're not using like physics, so I'm gonna have to animate those myself, guys. Otherwise it's like instantly snapping back to where the head is. Like for instance, this should probably be like right here, because if you think about the bottom of her hair here, it should be heavier than just like her head snapping back and the whole thing kind of moving. And then her other hair, we could probably have move a little bit more, like it's swinging slightly. So like, you know, start there, end here. And that kind of allows that movement to feel a little bit more justified. What do you think, Okaizudo? A little bit more hair movement there. What's really controlling this? Probably that, right? Probably bring that down a little bit. Some of the craziest rigs though, with because it's just so janky. If you grab some string or in the ears and make the head move with your hand, they don't towards the body at the start and drag a lot more behind. That ends the hair react slower. Yeah, and that's at least what I was trying to do. Maybe I could make it a little bit more extreme. Let's see. Like this movement here. It's more like this should probably be a little bit further back. Make this a little bit more delayed. Probably smooth this out a little bit, I think. I don't like how that hair bends. Yeah. And again, let's just make this pop down a little bit so she puts all that weight down. I think it should go down a little bit more. Yeah. That little extra bounce of the hips feels like she's heaving something a little bit heavier. Yeah, let's see what it looks like with the gun now. And fix it. Really, her hand needs to be animated to like be holding the gun as well, because currently it is not. Which we can fix. Oh my god. It's so excessively up there now. Probably fix her arms slightly. There we go. This part I don't like. It just like snaps weirdly. So we have this frame, this frame, this frame. Let's just fix this frame here. Probably setting this a little bit further back and then just adjusting it slightly. This needs to be just a little more outstretched. There we go. It's like our hand has to like be at the right spot where it's holding it. I guess we also don't want her to lift it up too high, you know? Although this is kind of like in the world of Arcane where everything is like suspended reality as far as like weight. Looks really nice. With the hair, you could move the one in the front. Yeah, I guess it needs to move a little bit more at the beginning of the thing because it's not moving all that much. It's kind of just like sitting there. Just grab that and bend it a little bit more. Like pauses here? It's like it needs a little bit more exaggerated movement, I think. So when it hits this spot... Maybe doesn't quite hit that yet. Let's do that. Oh, that's even worse. So if we go to here and then let's take this number of this hair and just grab it a little bit further. I think I screwed up the timing of it though, but let's now I kind of need the hands to always be gripping the thing appropriately. So this is where things are going to get a little complicated because we need the we need this to be positioned more correctly. Let's see. Let's rotate it like this. Just how she would actually be holding it. And then with the hands, we can then actually have her grabbing it. Let's see, we'll do booyah. We don't exactly have all of her fingers completely, so, you know, she's going to be like barely holding it, I guess. Which is not great, but I think it'll work for this shot. Let's go to like this frame here, and then obviously we're just gonna try to align this as much as possible. Let's rotate that upwards, just make more sense from that perspective. And then this dude here can just rotate inwards. Gotta be grasping this bad boy. Okay. And yeah, let's just rotate that accordingly. So probably something like that. And then, of course, rotate it outwards a little bit more in this direction. Now we're just kind of like fixing that. I think the hand for the most part is probably pretty close. Oof. Not there, though. Hard because you kind of need to keyframe this as well, because otherwise the one kind of like gets affected by the other. So there's a bit of a give and take. Just kind of line that up. She can't have it go through her hand now, can she? Beautiful, dude. That works really nice. This hair still bothers me, dude. It still bothers me a little bit. By the way, in your work, do you do the animation in Blender, or what software do you use? I use Blender. Yeah, I use Blender for the for pretty much all of my 3D needs. Sometimes we render out in Houdini though. So the way we'll work is simulation will be done in Houdini, and if you're doing simulation, then the render is also going to happen in Houdini. In Blender, we will do the 3D animation, modeling, and texturing, and basically all the look dev elements of it. Render that out and then composite in Nuke. We don't use Blender for compositing whatsoever, so we'll render out beauty passes with all of the AOVs and then comp that over inside of Nuke. You have a lot more flexibility that way, and saves you a lot of time. What render engine do I use in Houdini? Arnold. Yeah, we have Arnold licenses. I haven't used the internal actually all that much for Blender. Oh, sorry, not Blender, Houdini. I've only ever used Arnold as my render engine. Okay, this is where we're going to get into some problems. The hand isn't really connecting, though I'm going to be honest here. So since this is our shot, we're not even seeing it from this angle. So do we care if she's actually gripping the thing? We should care. 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 Convincing myself that we should care. But if I'm being completely honest, we don't see it. Probably should fix this though. So let's do that. How is the trigger mechanism working on this thing? Let's fix... We're going to rotate everything based around this bone here. So let's swap this over to the 3D cursor. And then let's just fix certain elements of this. So we want that. I have an idea actually. Can't we take our constraint that we have, which is non-viewable and non-selectable right now, but let's go ahead and select that. And can't we apply this into keyframes? I'm pretty sure you can. Object. Should be a way to do this. Animation. Bake action. I think we could do that. Oh. It's not working. I thought there was a way to do this where you convert this into keyframes rather than using a constraint, because then we could probably just do some nice like fixing elements of this. Because I need to rotate this hand, but I don't want to completely change everything. I just can't adjust that one bone is basically what it comes down to. Bake action should work, but you need to select and apply constraints or something similar inside of the bake window. Okay, well, let's try it. So this is our object that we want to bake, for instance, because this is the one with all the constraints on it. So then object, animation, bake action, bake object transfer. Let's do bake action. And we'll do visual keying. Clear the constraints. Well, you know what we'll do? We can clear the parents as well. No. Overwrite the current action? Sure. Let's do that. See what that looks like. Beautiful. So that is everything that we could have hoped and desired it would be. So now we can adjust our hand. Thank you, Hasselhoff. Beautiful. Clear constraints should do the trick. Yep. Okay, so let's not rotate this around the 3D cursor because that's going to give us more headache. Let's set our wrist position to be correct on this guy. You're somewhat of an animator yourself. I mean, hey, you've made more animated shorts than I have. I'd give it to you. That's what this whole year, by the way, I'm doing all these production logs on my Patreon account. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet or not, but I am showing the process of doing like a full animated film, which is really cool because I'm working with some super talented people on storyboarding as well as concept art and then character design. So it'll be pretty professional, even though I am like the most amateur person. I am mostly just directing the thing, which I am more of a professional about, but I'm working with some really talented people. Super excited about that. That's my thing I'm working on this year. So a little plug, if you guys want to join the Patreon, then that is a thing you guys can follow. It's probably not for everyone because it's a lot of like that kind of like behind the scenes kind of stuff where I'm going to show a lot of how all of that is created. I do think that works for the hand, but we just need this part to be fixed. I just realized this is there's a weight paint issue with the hand. Look at this, guys. If I rotate this, his glove moves. That's a problem. There we go. Although her hand snaps through this handle here at the end. Let's fix that. Let's see, we're going to go to this side and then down. I've downloaded the Surface Imperfections packs and they're great, but due to university, I didn't have enough time to dig through all the great videos. No! Well, I'm glad that you were able to get the Surface Imperfections pack. I use that thing like all the time. It's also why I made the videos. Like the Surface Imperfection pack is part of the Render Raiders kind of thing, whereas the videos that I'm posting are just part of like the $5 tier. So that way it's not that big of a commitment. Our hand still snaps through. We gotta fix that. Okay, right here. This needs to be a little bit further. Yeah, there we go. Did you at least check out the de-aging video one? Pulling 16-hour days. Jeez, dude. Gotta take a break there. At least the head pop effect was a ton of fun. Yeah, I mean, it looked amazing. I liked it. Houdini sim stuff has never been my strong suit. On the short I did, I had to do an exploding bloodshot, and I didn't use Houdini for it. Instead, I did it in Blender using Flip Fluids add-on. Whoopsies. Let's bring you out a little bit. A little bit in. There we go. Just kind of cleaning up this wrist movement here. Press N and then turn into IK? I could do that. That removes all the fun. I think it's actually pretty easy. I mean, I've done it before. Usually I just look it up. Auto IK, axis, effect only. Is it auto IK? Do we want that? Oh my god. Why do you have to make my life easier, Tarek? Welcome to the chat, by the way, Tarek. Auto IK. I think you can do it by like saying how many bones you want the auto IK up to, though, right? I didn't know it existed either, Hasselhoff. When I thought the IK thing, you have to set like how many bones back it goes. Stop making my life easier, okay? I like the challenge of suffering. If you're not suffering, is that really art? Isn't that the whole argument behind AI, is that you don't suffer enough? So that's the reason why it's not art. You're not suffering enough unless you're doing everything yourself. Oh my god, that's amazing. Hey, yo, Alexander, welcome into the chat. By the way, guys, you guys new here to the chat, use the exclamation mark hello in the chat, and you'll get like a cool little shout out in the chat. There's also dad joke. We've got a few more dad jokes to go through here. So if you guys haven't used the dad joke, make sure to use that. Let's get this a little bit cleaner here for the arm. Now that we've got IK set up, it's going to be a billion times easier. Thank you, Tarek. You are a master. Can we control how much this IK is affecting it, though? Because it's affecting a little bit too much. I suppose I can always just go into this other hand up here and then re-grab it. It's just I'm working against each other right now. Yeah, I don't these both kind of have to be fixed anyways, but let's see. Let's turn off auto IK and just do this manually for this one. There we go. And then these guys down here, auto IK. Just don't want to. Is it the scroll wheel that's changing? Oh, it is. The scroll wheel changes the length of your IK. There you guys go. Oh my god. There we go. Her arm is really snapping here. A wild Alexander appeared. You'll rewatch the stream, but I'm out on the road right now, and I didn't want to miss out on the end result of this. Well, thank you so much for joining. But yeah, if you watch the stream later, I don't think we're finishing today. We're probably going to have to comp this at least next week. Though I haven't decided yet if I'm going to just comp a still image today or what we're going to do. So that's still up in the air. Hard part about doing animation sometimes is that it requires... Let's do 3s. Yeah, 3's good. It's a little buggy, not going to lie. But that is a lifesaver for sure. I love that so much. It's so funny because it has a little bit of that jitteriness now to it, which is great. Have you guys used Bendy Bones? I haven't used Bendy Bones yet. So Bendy Bones is this cool thing that they have in Blender, and they've had it for a bit now. I've not used it, but what it allows you to do is kind of have a little bit more of that jiggle motion automatically. Let's see if I can find it inside of the settings here. Yeah, Bendy Bones. Is it on a per bone basis? Do I have to do this on a per bone basis? How does that work? Like if I wanted her shoulders to be bendy bony? You have to turn it on or something? Bendy Bones is all disabled right now. There is a way to do this. Bendy bones, bendy bones, bendy bones, bendy, bendy, bendy bones. Oh, you just turn it up? Okay. Whoa. Honestly, that's pretty sweet. Okay, let's just add on to one. I feel like that's cheating. Is this not cheating, guys? Is this cheating? Is this cheating? It's like adding free jiggle into your shot. Oh, man. Today, I think when we do the texturing, I was thinking we can try the new Blender paint strokes add-on that they have for their extensions. If you guys haven't tried that out yet, I tested it out yesterday. It's pretty nice. Okay. That's pretty cool. Let's do with these hairs. Let's do like a 4 on that. Let's do a 4 on that. I'm just going to select these and... Oh, it's adding bones into the one bone. That's how it's working. So it's just making it more... I don't think I like that. Yeah, let's turn these bad boys down. So what it does is it adds more bones into the one bone. Interesting. That's really kind of nice. Gives you more of that like animation movement. It doesn't work for this, of course, but just realized, is her hair like... Okay. I really don't like her hair. We gotta fix this hair, guys. Let's do... Okay, we're gonna change our bone constraints here. Or something like that. Make this not a child of the head. You are no longer a child of the head. No child head. Delete that. You would use the wiggle add-on for those bones. There's a wiggle add-on? 1 second. I gotta figure out some of these bone add-on things that you guys are talking about. Oh, add-on, as in add-on. Add-on? Preferences? Is that like inside of wiggle? Nope. Extensions? Wiggle? Give me that wiggle. No wiggle? Whoopsies. Let's see, strip array, MIO3. Simple bone bounce curve. I gotta get into some of this stuff later. They've got some really cool new stuff for this Blender 4.3 release that I haven't gotten into. Okay, so currently you are parented to the head, local location inherit. And that is a constraint that we're giving it, I thought. We could do Alt-P clear parent. Can we not do that? Okay. It's free in Blender Market. I'll have to grab it in between streams. This one, though... Okay. Pose position. Forget how I did this, where it's parented to the head. You can see it right here. Relative parenting. Can I remove that? Inherit rotation? I don't want to inherit the rotation. That was the problem. Inherit the rotation. There we go. That's fine. And now let's select all of this hair and delete everything. Now I'm wondering with the wiggle thing, because there is a way to do this where... Okay, so let's start out with these two pieces of the hair here. So from the camera perspective, starting into this angle, let's rotate this here. And we're just going to work through this systematically. So she's kind of moving. We almost need like a reference of what this is supposed to do. So she moves back like this. It's like the hair would kind of like singe this direction, right? Outwards. Oh my god, her hair is disappearing. She probably shouldn't have as much control as she does. Her hair is too strong. Let's go ahead and select her hair. Go to the weight paint. We need... Oh, shoot. We need to probably name those bones. Let's do this. Hair 1. Hair 2. Those are the only hairs we really need. To make sure that we're not adjusting. Let's select her body here. Go to the weight paint. And then select the hairs. So under our data, find hair 1. Booyah. And then we'll have to make sure under tools, we are using the subtract. Has anybody have a good answer for me as to why they moved all this stuff over into the properties window rather than having it hover up here? This just really bothers me. Can someone make an add-on for me? Put it back up here for me. I just want an add-on. Someone give me my add-ons back. Or not add-on, but my ability to just select it really quickly. Can't believe it. Because it's like going between these windows is such a frustrating process. Back to tools. Subtract that. Just kind of sticking her hair back up here. We're only going to want to control the back of her hair, not the entire head. So back to object mode. There we go. And yeah, so like her hair can like snap like that. So anyways, boom. I do think it's a little like let's you can select the bone and then select the hair and select the bone you want to adjust the weight, so no need to rename bones. Wait. You can select the bone, then select the hair, and select the bone you want to adjust the weights for with Alt left click in the viewport. Wait a second. Weight paint. Alt left click. Wait, what? Like select the bone over here? Is that what you're talking about? The armatures. Armature. Wait, what do you mean? Wait. Select the bone and hair. Go to the weight paint and then select it with Alt left click. You can't type. Wait a second. So select the bone as in like in pose mode and then select the hair, which is an object. You can't do that when you're select the bone and go into weight paint and then select it in alt click in object mode. Okay, I am very confused right now. Okay, and then select that, like shift selecting it and then going into weight paint. Is that? Oh no, you didn't. Holy cow. That's a great idea. So go, okay. Wow. I didn't know you could do that. Okay, great. You just saved me hours of annoyance. Wow, okay. I constantly get blown away in these streams, guys. Let's do that. This is gonna go over here. And then here, let's just have it keep going this direction. Yeah, no, that's not working for me. Let's see. So, first of all, her hair would be outside of her body. That's the first thing, okay? That's new to you? It's new to me, man. Although I will say old Blender, like there was a version of Blender where you used to be able to do that just by default. Like you didn't have to shift select stuff. And I remember when they changed it, I was like really annoyed because like, wow, there's so many extra steps now. And it's so funny because it's just like a hidden thing to do. Okay, wait. Okay, let's see. What is this hair supposed to be doing? Because it's never looked right for me. So... Ooh, it's almost like her hair should already be out. Ooh, right? Let's see. So she like lifts that up. It's almost like right here it should already be out. And then just kind of like rotating inwards here. And then back outwards. Is that what we're feeling? Yeah, so it's like a flail motion. And then with each one of these, it's like a... kind of coming from inside to out. Then even more so, honestly. Where when it starts to come out, it's still moving backwards to here. That is feeling so much better. Maybe like a wave motion? I do feel like that is so much smoother. Do you guys not think that? Let's do it this way. I do feel like that is just so much cleaner. And then it hits here and then kind of like goes backwards. Yeah, it definitely looks better than before. I think we're just not hitting... It makes more sense for the hair to move like this, but I really wanted the hair to be blowing back when, like, I guess you know what it is. It's moving a little bit too much the same. If this one kind of is a little bit... I just want that silhouette. And we just can't have them lining up at the same time. I think I boomed it. We don't want the boom. Okay, there we go. And then let's select that. And we're just going to make it slightly offset it here. And then now with the bendy bones, let's try the bendy bones. We're gonna try the bendy bones. Let's just set like this to like a 3. I like that, you know, just so that way the hair has a little bit more life to it. And then this top one can stay the same. It doesn't really matter. clean, dude. I do think, though, let's see. Let's select all of that. That way, it's a little bit more reactive than happening at the same time. And then her hair, let's just have this a little bit more kind of like tail between the legs type thing. As if the motion that she was doing with beforehand kind of like lines up with this. I think this one doesn't have to be bending that direction. It's coming in. A little bit more smooth. Somebody throw another dad joke in there. I want to see what the dad joke is. With the way it snaps, I think almost that this part could be sped up a little bit. So let's try that. Let's take this whole thing here and then just scale that down to about there. I don't like the way it snaps back right now, but let's take a look at that real quick. So it goes to here. Let's just delete this last keyframe and then take this keyframe and just make that the last frame. And then these other guys, let's see. That kind of works. Let's see. These are... It's kind of like stopping suddenly. This one should probably just keep going. Kind of delete that keyframe and again just there we go. That doesn't feel like it's stopping in the end anymore. Let's grab this dude. Wop, 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 wop. You know? You know what I'm saying? It's just, she snaps it here and then set a keyframe. Then by the end here, we're going to just rotate that on the Z-axis like a crap ton of times. Might be an easier way of doing this. I don't know. I don't think it's actually doing anything. 1 second. I don't think it's doing anything. Can we disable parent for a moment? I want to see what it looks like without the parent. So that's the pointer empty. Let's just Okay, so it is rotating. That's good to know. It might be rotating a little fast. So we can always grab that and then move that down. Yeah, it's a little fast. Let's... Cool. And then let's turn back on our pointer empty for our thingamajig. Uh-oh. What frame did I do that on, guys? I made a boo-boo. 1 second. I made a boo-boo. Control-Z that. Control-Z it. Bring back it. Thank you. And then this guy, we just grab you and move you all the way over here. There we go. That works really nicely. Cool. Let's do this. So your arch position here is going to be a little bit more... Whoa. Like right here even more so. So let's just like step that up. Just trying to like stomp her leg a little bit more. It's all just part of it, you know, like it's got to feel more like a snap motion. I don't like this movement here. I think that kind of like draws away from the rest of it. So her leg is kind of like up there. Then it goes down here and then it comes over. So it just feels a little disconjointed. So if we have like, for instance, a keyframe, I don't know why I can't. Why can I not? Due to the set, I don't understand. Like, let's rotate that slightly. Yeah, I don't even understand. What is going on there, guys? There you go. That's a little bit better. Just trying to rotate that one frame to not... I also kind of like the idea of making this movement a little bit faster. Maybe like one frame faster. It's just really... Yeah, that one frame snap. I think that one frame snap really makes a big difference there. So if we just had her head... I want her head to kind of snap a little bit more. So it's like, da, you know? Like she... Right after that happens, her head's going to snap back a little bit. And let's just rotate that forward a little bit. And then like back here, her head can be rotated back down towards down the barrel of the gun, basically. Probably even have the recovery a little bit better. I don't know. And just kind of as well, just the motion of how heavy everything should just feel a lot more impactful. I don't like her facial expression at the end, so let's kind of like fix that up a little bit, but you know. It's partially due to our terrible rig that we have, but you know what? We're going to make it work. In typical League of Legends fashion, since you know, they always had really bad rigs to work with for the video games. Granted, this is not for the video games. It's, you know, for a show, but, you know. Let's just clean that up a little bit. Definitely feels a little more heavy. I don't know about this head snap. Yeah, I think going without it works a lot better there. Let's see. This whole maneuver here, let's see, it's just a simple movement. Of her standing and then kind of like coming back down. This movement here, I think there is like a... I want this hold to be 1 frame longer. Yeah. It's just like a hold, bam, you know? Which means we have to fix this hand now because now this is off. By like 1 frame. Or a few frames. We're off by a bit. Dude, that inverse kinesmatic trick is definitely killer. That's awesome. Here. Oh, we are so close. We're just off by a bit. Probably off by a bit there, so let's just go ahead and reset that. There we go. Just 1 frame off, guys. 1 frame off. It's gonna look so sweet once I put all the lighting in there. Let's grab our camera now. Let's see. Its animation is starting on a first frame, which always bothers me. Let's change this interpolation to linear. And then that way the movement's already kind of happening. It still does that speed up near the end, which works for the camera, the art direction of this. But then overall, that's kind of working really well for us. Let's just check this hand movement here. The hand is slipping on like this frame, so let's just fix that. Gotta fix it, guys. Can we fix it? Yes, we can. Guys, I still know the Bob the Builder song. I don't know if you guys watched that growing up, but that is still in my head. All of you younger folks don't know what it was like. We have a little jitter going on here, I think. Might need to smooth this out slightly. I don't know. The wrist is freaking out. Yeah, we probably have to clean that up a little bit. Let's try deleting these inner keyframes. Let's delete these keyframes to the inner ones. Unfortunately, the auto IK works really well, but it also creates like a bit of a jitterness to it. And you have to be kind of careful. Nice. Let's fix some of our set design here. So notice that this is floating a little bit, which should not be floating. So let's not do that. Realistically speaking, perfect. And then probably do the same thing over here on this guy. Let's just fix some of these floating lines. Might even actually just add another edge loop because we don't want it to be that big. Just extrude that downwards and voila. You don't need to have any more than that. Cool. Okay, great. Now that is animation. Let's jump into some other stuff. All right, I'll do it. I want to know another dad joke here. Exclamation mark, dad joke. Bring it on, Streamlabs. What do you call fake spaghetti? An impasta. Oh my gosh. It works for me. Okay. Let's jump into adding in some smoke into this shot. We're going to do quite a bit of the sim stuff here. One of the things to note is how this muzzle flash is looking. We may want to have some kind of muzzle flashes type thing. Let me see if I'm actually logged in already. Because they have some effects for cartoony type muzzle flashes here on Action VFX. I don't know if I have access to them. And if I don't, then we can just hand paint them. It's not that big of a deal. Here we go. Anime lightning. No, that's not what I was going for. Animated fantasy. No. Let's see. Just look at my downloads to see what I have. Yeah, I don't have the ones that I thought I saw. It's fine. We can animate that. That's what we're here for. Let's see. How do we want to do this? First things first is probably getting the base textures down and then just kind of going from there. I'm going to hide this for right now. I'm going to hide all of our... Well, let's do this. Alt-H. And then let's just go over here to our bones and just disable them. And then we'll also do that for extras. We don't need the extras. Mostly just focused on our character right now. For the sake of this test, let's go ahead and add in an area light. I guess we do want to see this area light, so let's turn back extras on. Kind of position this down where our gun kind of is. And let's see, our environment, we could probably get away with a little bit more of a bluey haze. And then, let's see, let's check the rest of our lighting. Yeah, most of our lighting is probably going to be very practically done. Like you're kind of hitting more of that realm of it. This is also Eevee. Should I do this in Eevee or Cycles? I don't have a preference yet. Let's also swap this light here to be round. So like more of a disc. And let's also actually delete that. Let's create a UV sphere. Put that on the edge of our gun here. And I'm going to do a couple things. Inside of our object mode, wait a second. Inside of here, let's create, if you want stylized, you would use Eevee. Yeah, I have this, it will be stylized, obviously, because we're going for that arcane look. I'm going to create one called Lighting right now. A collection called, wow. Hello? What is going on right here? Lighting. I kept, like, putting caps. I was like, I'm not doing it. And then we'll do indirect only. Select our UV sphere, and then we'll throw that into there. We'll be replacing this later with a card that we're going to create, but I just want to do this for our own purposes. So let's just do Muzzle. Indicama has a really neat tutorial on how to get some cell shading looks in Cycles. I have a method that I'm going to be doing here that I think will work pretty well. What's going on? Oh no! Do I have to use Cycles for this? Yes, I do. Why? I don't understand why that's not a thing Eevee does. And then we'll go of kind of like that yellowish tint. Something like that. So that way the shadows are kind of like that bluish tint, but then the muzzle flash is kind of going to be more of this rosy magenta look. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and save that. Now, you can do this inside of After Effects. I'm going to be using Nuke. We're going to paint our muzzle flashes from scratch. We'll see how this goes. This is the way I was kind of thinking we could do it, is just straight inside of Nuke, just using a roto paint node, and I think that we probably get everything we need. So let's first start by setting our settings. We'll use 24 frames per second. Let's also do this as HD 1920 by 1080. And then I'm going to probably turn off our render view over here. Minimize that. And then let's open up our reference photo just so that way we can kind of see what we're doing. I'm going to first create a constant, which is just basically a solid inside of After Effects. And then we're going to do a roto paint node. And just as like a test, where the first frame we're going to do is we're just going to kind of like match this. Just going to kind of hand paint it. For me, because I never get to use this thing, I'm going to use my tablet that I have. You guys can use a mouse if you want. But I never get to use my tablet, and this is like one really good reason to use a tablet is for this exact thing. So let's go ahead and plug all that in. There we go. And let's see, what's my shortcuts for this? It's just going to be N. I think trying to get like the general shape down, we're just going to be using a white paintbrush right now. Let's go ahead and set this frame range. Let's see, how long do we really need this to be? It goes from like frame, see, when she starts to shoot, it's going to be here. So frame 18 to 25. So what's that? 5 plus 2, which is 7. I can do math. So we're just going to set our frame range here from 1 to 7. Which that's only going to be 6 frames, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, okay then. Perfect. Kind of just get the rough shape of this down. So just like, you know, paint that out. I probably don't want my brush to be quite as big for this, but let's see, let's try this out. It's okay if it's not exact because we're hand doing this. We can always go back and then make some adjustments later. Wow, this is going to be rough, but I'm like literally just, we're going to see how bad this is, and then we're going to reevaluate, but I wanted to at least try it. This is basically what we're doing right now is just creating a black and white image of a muzzle flash. That's all that we need to do. Is it shift for the size? Yeah. Might change my hardness. And then of course the size being smaller is going to be nice. So let's see. Let's set the hardness to 1. I want to make sure that our hardness isn't going to be blurry. Actually, with that being said, let's actually redo this again. I'm going to probably set this to 2 screen here just so I can actually see what I'm doing. And then just change the size of our... I want to have this image somewhere I can see it. So I'm just going to... Whoopsies. Sorry. My pen is kind of not working right now for that. Let's just grab that and move this to another screen so I can see the muzzle flash that I'm working on while I'm painting. Then yeah, let's see how we can do this. I'm not really a traditional artist, but I wanted to do this, so this is why I'm like doing it the hard way, is because I wanted to do it. This has nothing to do with whether or not this is the best way of doing it. It's more like I wanted to hand paint the muzzle flash because I was like, oh man, that would be kind of cool to do. So let's see. I think a lot of the imperfections that I'm going to have are going to be redeemable because we're going to be blasting this out with an emission shader. Saying you're not a traditional artist while painting a still image in Nuke is wild. Come on, man. I'm not, but what my point is that I'm not good at this. So this is the part I'm not good at. Just going to erase some of this. Just kind of like thin it out. I'm preemptively saying this so that way when the comments come for me and then they're all like being rude, I'm like, well, told you. Can't tell me something I already said. No, actually, you guys are all actually pretty great. No one actually roasts me in the comments. I've only gotten a few mean comments before, and usually they're just random people. Someone came in a few weeks ago and was like, this is trash. And I was like, thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks for the feedback. Oops, let's make that a little smaller. Just kind of like make that explosion outwards. Cursed as fuck, but it's funny. Yeah. I have a feeling that how this will be playing with how fast it'll be playing, it's not going to actually be that noticeable, but I wanted to do it because I'm like, they hand paint a lot of the stuff in the actual show, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to, whoopsies, I thought it'd be kind of cool to do it myself. I don't get to hand paint stuff very often anymore, so used to do this quite a bit more when I was a kid. And now that looks like crap. We're just going to keep doing this until we get it good, guys. Oh, man. I do feel like it's harder to do it face sideways than it would be to do it upright. So I might try doing it upright for next. Let me try that. We're going to try this again. Yeah, that's fine. I think the angles is what really matters here. Probably a little bit sharper there as well. Should also not judge my thing until I see it in playback, but you know, it's a little hard, okay? I don't know what I'm drawing here, okay? I don't want to get demonetized. So we'll do that. Boom, boom, boom. As like a... That's so bad, guys. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. It's so bad! I'm like trying not to say it's bad while I'm working on it until I'm like actually get it kind of finished. But I'm like, this is quite bad. Maybe I should have not done this. All right. We're getting it, guys. Slowly but surely. Maybe I'll just show you guys this screen, so that way you guys can see it in full screen. You guys can see how bad it is at the same size that I'm seeing it at, which is unfortunate. The one thing I'm trying to also kind of like have in my head is that this is going to kind of have its... I'm making it way too big. Let's do this again. Can I try tracing this? I'm going to try tracing it at first. That way I've got like a basis, and then we will go from there. All right? How's that? Let's go to our resources. We're going to drag that in here. Hello. I'm going to reformat you to the right size. I'm going to then scale you up. And then place you where I want you. Just as like a proof of concept, I kind of want to do this way. And then that way we at least have one frame where we're like, yeah, that's what we want it to look like. Cool. With that being said, though, let's set you to like a really small opacity so that way no one can see you except for us. Let's work on this. Wow. I just also, the hard part is like the translation of what's in your head to like painting with a tablet is there's just like this disconnect, because I also don't do this very often or ever. So there's just like this disconnect of what direction you're moving your pen when you're doing it. I think that's also part of it. Like there is just like I'm thinking I'm going like left or up, and then I don't. So there's just like a movement error, and then it ends up looking whack because of that. That's what I'm doing as an excuse. There are excuses. I have excuses prepared for you guys. Just gotta fill this thing in. Okay. Like something like that. Yeah, it's complicated when you're starting to work with a tablet. Yeah, and I just don't ever. So I think that's the other thing is like I think the more I use it, the better I would be at it. The hard thing I find, so I have a nice tablet. It's just how do you use a mouse, a keyboard, and a tablet all at the same time? Like, I don't know how you're supposed to do that. Is there a fill button? I really wish there was a fill button. There isn't a fill button, but I know I can do it this way. So it'll still kind of have the hand-drawn effect, but it's going to be using a Bezier curve to basically do it. Is that cheating? Are we cheating right now? Guys, we're cheating. Wait, why didn't I do this in the first place? Why do we need to do the hand-painted effect at all? Why? It's like that meme. Why are we still here? Why are we still suffering? I don't know, guys. Why am I still suffering? Let's Q out of that. Alright, as muzzle flash, that's not terrible. What is the V for the vector? Yeah, let's do a V. So much easier doing this, I'm not gonna lie. Holy cow. Why am I doing it the hard way? This is the first time I'm using my tablet on the stream? Yes, it is. I never use my tablet because I don't know when to use it. I guess the thing is you're supposed to just always use it, and I don't. So supposedly it's really good on your wrists. I hope, though, that is kind of impressive to you that a lot of the painting that I do on streams is completely with my mouse. I hope that's the impressive part that you guys take away from the fact that I don't use my tablet ever. I'm going to delete all this. Let's go back to vectors. And maybe that's not impressive at all. But I was like, because I do quite a bit of painting sometimes, but I don't use a tablet. And I want to because I know that it is easier to do paint work. The other thing I really just want to get into is more digital like paint work. Especially since I'm working with like concept artists now and stuff. And I'm like, wow, I wish I could do that myself. So these are set to all frames. I'm actually just going to set it to single frame on these Bezier curves inside of this Rotopaint. So that way when we go to our next frame, it is not using that. And I'm just going to kind of imagine, oopsies, what'd I do? Tab out of that. Thank you. Press Q. I'm going to kind of just imagine what the next frame would look like. So if we do that, And that. I don't know if this is going to work, guys, but we're going to try it. Kind of just like have the offshoot a little bit for these muzzle flash locations. Let's just make that even smaller, though. I like Bezier curves. I do like me some curves, guys. Some real curvy curves. And then, I don't know, let's reimagine kind of what this would look like here. Gonna kind of cut that back there, and that way we're just kind of going all the way back. Oh, whoops. I want it to kind of curve upwards and then back. I don't know if this is going to work, but now if we select all the all frames and then if we set that to a single frame, that should work. And disable that for a second. So what we got? Okay, on to the next one. I guess we really just don't know if this is going to work or not until it doesn't. I guess, wait a second. If you're having the muzzle flash go, would this center part, for the most part, stay the same? Let's do some research here. Because I know that they have some stuff over on Action VFX. Sometimes it's worth it if you're not going to use their stuff, just to look at how their muzzle flashes work or whatnot. Oh my gosh. Using a cursor, your freaking tablet is difficult to do on that. Let's find some muzzle flashes. Oh, wouldn't they also have like a single frame in between? So like if I select all of the 2s here and we make these 3s instead. So if we like swap the life here to single frame. Oh my gosh. Let's do frame range. There we go. And we set that to 3s. And then we do it again here on the 5, so then we find ourselves a new one. Let's go back to something like this. We'll actually invert it. Let's move that over here and just kind of connect all of that. Perfect. Let's add in another vector here. And yeah, let's just stretch that outwards. Probably even, yeah, just make it thinner. Trick is just making this thin enough where it feels more wispy. Oh, nice, Tarek. Glad you made it safely home. We're just cringing as we're making these terrible muzzle flashes. Just kind of stretching that out. There we go. Okay, great. Let's go back over here to this 5, and then we'll select all of our all frames again. And then we're going to set those to single frames. Perfect. Hard work is never terrible. I beg to differ, my friend. I beg to differ. We'll do that. I think that kind of works. And then... and let's just take this whole thing. I'm just going to rotate it. This is why I kind of like Bezier curves, because you can do quite a bit with them. I don't know if this is going to look good, guys, but I'm excited to see what it's going to look like here in a second. Just make it a little more wispy. Okay, great. Oh, whoopsies. Oh, whoopsies. Select your alls and then set those to single frames afterwards. I mean, does it look as good as theirs? Not yet, but this kind of works. So that'll be our 7 frames that we're going to have of these muzzle flashes. Does it actually go out? I'm wondering if it should go out, or... here's what we could do. Let's make it... wait a second. Let's try this. Let's go boop, 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 boop. Up. Vector. There we go. There's got to be a... let's delete all that. And then go to another in between here. And then we'll just do another vector. As if it's like catching only half. Whoopsies. Gosh darn it. There we go. Okay, then we select it again and set it to single frames because I already moved to 6. Would you miss? Mostly just working on creating muzzle flashes right now. Okay, I really just don't like this one. Let's fix that. Let's do the 2. We don't like the 2. Let's delete it. We don't need it at all. Okay, great. Let's see how bad this looks in context with everything else. So inside of Nuke now, all I'm going to do is basically just create a write node. And then, whoopsies. I'm getting better at this tablet thing, okay, guys? We're getting better, slowly but surely. I'm going to select today's date. We'll use this as an asset, I think. No, it's not an asset. Where would a good spot be for this? Let's set it to resources. Create a new one. Call this Muzzle 01. And I'm going to save this with some frames. And again, you guys can use the After Effects, or you can use Nuke for this, honestly, for this method. We'll just save these as JPEG files. I think works totally fine because we're just creating a black and white image. Matte painting is totally cool as well. Next up, we'll just disable that completely. Honestly, we could probably just use this black constraint instead of using our reference image that we were using. Undisable that. I'm also going to save this project file, so if you guys want to join the Patreon, you do get access to all these files. as usual. 10 shots. Go ahead and save this. Let me call this 15 Muzzle version 1. Go ahead and save that there. Okay, great. I'm going to create directory and render these 7 frames. We only need the 7 frames. Back inside of Blender now, let's go ahead and delete this sphere that we created. We're going to import that video that we just created. So if you do import image as planes, which I guess we need to enable on this new version of Blender, and it's not already enabled, I don't know why. What? Let's go to extensions. Is it over there? Please tell me it's over here. Well, that's annoying. Okay, well, that's so weird. Background mesh plane. I wonder if they changed it to mesh plane. I don't know. Let's just create a new plane. It doesn't really matter. Just scale that out slightly. We can always adjust this here in a moment, but really we're just going to go ahead and create a new material. Call this Muzzle. And inside of our window here, I'll just swap this over here to shader editor. And for right now, let's just delete our principal BSDF. And then we're going to search for an image texture, image sequence. Go back to our streams. And then we'll select under our, oops, not under assets, but under our resources, our muzzle flash that we have here. We'll select that entirety of that. We'll hit import image sequence. Plug this directly into our surface. And just keep saving that to make sure that we're not going to crash our computer. I'm going to go to our material preview now. And then we'll do auto refresh. And change the offset here. Start on 18, I think. Perfect. Or not. Why are we not playing? Let's do frames is set to 7. Start frame is set to 1. Let's set this to 8. Excuse me. There we go. Goes through our muzzle flash. Oh, man. I don't know what had happened. Wow. My throat just closed up there for a second. You hate the image sequence thing? Yeah, it's a little buggy. I just wish it was a little more intuitive. Okay, great. That's going to work a little bit better for us. I almost died for you guys on stream there. Oh, whoops. Let's scale this on the Y inwards. Perfect. And just kind of like line this up. I'm going to take this dude, though. So this is our muzzle flash. And we're not going to put that under lighting for right now. But we do need to parent it to our prop. Specifically our... whichever one is controlling everything for us. Perfect. Okay, let's catch up on some of your chat messages you guys sent here, because I was just so focused on not dying there for a moment. Something you think Blender UI really needs is consistency, because every major release, they change stuff, and that's annoying. 100%. I can definitely agree with that. Okay, so this is going to be our black and white image that we have here. And again, it's just a JPEG, so it's just really a matte. So if we create ourselves a, I'm going to center my keyboard again here. We're done using the tablet for the next year. We're going to use an emission shader is really what we're going to want. And if we go ahead and view that, you can kind of see what it's doing already. We just go back over into our render view. You can see that the entire plane is just a white object. For us, we kind of want to match our reference photo, which is going to have kind of more of a purplish tint to it. The strength is going to be so much that this is going to feel white, but the outer fringe of everything is going to have kind of like this magenta feel to everything. We can use our muzzle flash, of course, to create more of that fringing effect ourselves and create some dynamicness to everything. We could also directly do that just by changing this. This is just a straight black and white image, and maybe we want a little bit of a fall off to everything. So maybe after the roto paint that we have, we could use something like an edge blur or maybe just a regular blur node. And if we do this, then what's creating a kind of like fringe effect where it's not pure white all the way to the edge. It's creating a little bit of a fall off to it. And actually, I might do that. So let's go ahead and just render this back out again. Just 7 frames long. We take that over into our image sequence here. And if we view that, it's already got everything updated. But if you need to update it, you can always refresh the data by just going back into your image and then refreshing everything. So with that being said, we know that we kind of like the brightness value of a 23 here. Maybe we can adjust that later, but let's go ahead and use a math node inside of our comp and then take the color value here. And then we're just going to multiply this value by that 23. If we use that inside of our strength, it's only going to be creating that emissive shader, specifically where that muzzle flash is kind of existing right now. And then the only other thing that's kind of missing now is a transparent BSDF node. We need to remove everywhere that is not emissive. And that we're just going to be using a mix shader node. Just plug that directly into here. Our transparent BSDF is going to be on the bottom of this mix shader node. And then we're just going to take the color value that we currently have and just plug that into the FAC. Actually, it looks like I've got that backwards. So boom, boom. And then now you're going to have your muzzle flashes everywhere that is there. And all we have to do is just increase the multiplication here to make this brighter. And then that way it makes that a little bit more white. And then the fall off is still going to kind of have that magenta feel as well as lighting up the entirety of your scene. And what you kind of want to make sure of is that every time we don't have any frames, that it is completely black. Because right now it's doing like a hold frame. So I believe all we have to do is change this. See, that's flat linear repeat. Maybe we do actually need to make the image sequence inside of Nuke the entirety, which we can easily do. It's probably going to be the easiest thing to do, by the way. 1 through 25 is all we need. So we'll just change our frame range here from 1 to 25. And then we will do a time offset also with inside of our Nuke comp and then just do 18. So that way, inside of our Nuke comp, the first frame that we see of it exploding is going to be frame 18. It looks like this needs to be 17. There we go. And then that's when the muzzle flash is going to start. Cool. And then we will go ahead and just re-render that out. I often like to have, at least in comping, all of your plates be the full length of the shot. So that way you don't have to do any fancy math inside of here. Us doing this frame offset thing is always extremely annoying. So if we set that to frame 1, for instance, and then we set this to frame 25, is how long everything is going to be. We still have that as our first frame. Cool. So now it's just a few muzzle flash frames, which of course is going to work great for us. All of our mistakes, though, are kind of really coming out now on that. And so maybe we want to go back and adjust some of that. So let's see. Let's go back to frame 18. And we're going to use our roto paint node with just our singular brush in here. Which that maybe we're subtracting some stuff. So I like to maybe paint in some flames on this. As we're going. Wondering if that's how this is going to look, of course. Maybe not that, maybe not that. Just kind of get these natural. Don't want it to feel too smooth. I do really want it to feel like it's got like a little more character to it. I might be screwing with this too much, but that's cool. That's all cool. Okay. And then we'll go to frame 19, frame 20, and we'll kind of try to do the same thing. Cool. And then just cleaning some of that up, just adding a little bit of detail to it. It's like these flickers should feel more like sparks. Just grab that edge and it creates like a little bit of that chunky side to it. I don't know. Okay, and then we'll go to the next frame. Oh my god, that looks terrible. So we'll just something like that. Try to hit that edge a little bit, a little straighter. Okay, and then next up, this one right here. And again, just try to hit that. Try to get this little, whoopsies. Fill that in a little bit more. I do like these edges that it creates. By erasing those edges, it just like kind of creates more of like a straight line. Like that has like this little extra blip on it. I think that's going to show up pretty nicely. This was a question mark in my head when I was working on the stream. Was going to be this effect of the muzzle flash. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to do it. I figured I could probably get Action VFX to let me use their asset for it, but I wanted to try hand painting it for sure. Which, we'll see if this works out. May have been a mistake. We can always come back next week and then replace the muzzle flash with something else, but, you know, it's cool to experiment. I like these little thin ones. That's pretty cool. Like that edge there. I don't know. I think I like the edge, but maybe I don't. Maybe I won't like it. I don't know. Just kind of erase this intersection. Oh, wait. That's pretty cool. Something like that. That's pretty cool. I think like when you chop that up, then it doesn't feel as like feels like we're adding a little extra detail to it. I don't know. I'm doing this at random. It's not like I have like a plan. And then if it looks good, I keep it. If it doesn't, then I just yeah, it's cool actually. Let's keep that. No. 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 We're just testing stuff here. That's pretty cool actually. Okay, and then the last frame, nothing. For this frame, can we do like a hold? What does that look like? Let's go to the input frame here and then go 2. Let's copy the ones. Can we copy these ones? Let's duplicate them actually. Let's duplicate the ones, put those up there. Go to 2, set this to frame range, and then we'll set these to 2s. And then repaint these on top of it. So go up here. Go back to our thing. Let's see, we got 18, 19. And then I'm going to use the smear tool, I think. Can I do that easily? And then we'll just make this a little bigger. Yeah. I kind of want to just grab this and then I don't know what this would look like if I just like artistically pushed it. Whoopsies. And then after that, I can take our paintbrush and then just chop this. Something like that, I suppose. I don't know. That's all just on frame 2, so let's see. Yeah. Let's render that out. I just don't like it when it goes completely black on her face because, yeah. Let's go and delete that. Open up the image sequence again. And then this time we're just going to reload everything. So all the way from the beginning, open image. I don't know. That looks pretty nice. Having those extra little dots now rather than it feeling so... That could work pretty nicely for us. And then once we add that bloom into the actual comp, that's going to play, I think, quite a bit nicer. Let's also add in some additional lighting, and then we can get in some paint work now. And then let's see, with our color of this, let's just select our general purple that we have here. And then we can make this quite a bit dimmer. It doesn't have to be so excessive. Might even make this even more yellow. Maybe not. Let's set that to the purple. Okay. So that way we'll still have the deeper shadow on the other side of her. Let's go and swap this over to 3D viewport. I want to grab our light, just move it off a little bit further away. I just want the shadows to be a little deeper, so let's just make it a little more sidey for us. And then kind of increase our milliwatts here. Just step it up a little bit. That way we're kind of getting that effect. For our actual muzzle flash here, let's see, we want this to be more in front. And it's kind of like a lightning effect. I wonder if I have... do I have lightnings? What's inside of our VFX starter pack? I don't know that I've ever actually used lightning in anything. Oh, here we go. Electrical arcs. I've got 5. 5 electrical arcs. That's a little bit closer to what I want. Let's try comping these guys in as well. I'm going to download this surface electrical arcs. We'll just do 2K. It's totally fine. I'm going to put this under my materials. Wait, this is a different stream. Let's put it under this. Let's put it under resources. And then we'll go ahead and download that. It looks like I have to unzip it. Okay. And then it's just MOV files. So no glow. Let's keep the glow in there. So, yeah, let's go ahead and just duplicate our plane. Hello from Brazil. Hey, Brazil, how are you doing? Welcome, Dave, into the chat. If you use exclamation mark hello, it'll give you a shout out in the chat, by the way. I'm going to scale this other plane that we're creating here up. I'm going to remove the material on it and then create a new material that's going to be electricity. And under our shader editor, we can go ahead and just remove our principled BSDF and import an image texture. And this image texture, again, is probably just going to be located under our resources. And we'll just go ahead and grab surface electricity. Let's do with the glow. And if we go ahead and view it, we can see where everything is kind of going there. Just probably scale that down. Mostly just trying to position this in front of everything. Let's change the start frame for this. Okay, so frames, we're just going to make that all the way through. And this is just free extra detail that we're going to add. So we'll do mix shader. You're struggling to make small 2D art? It's all good, man. Just one step at a time. If we go ahead and view this, let's see, does it have an alpha channel? No, it doesn't. So we're going to use this guy as our alpha channel. So I'm going to actually just change this to hue and saturation. If we just desaturate this image completely, this will make a black and white image that we're going to use as our alpha layer. So mix shader, transparent BSDF, and then everywhere that is white, we're going to be using an emission surface. And then everywhere that isn't white, which that goes on the bottom, it's going to make not translucent, but transparent BSDF. That gets plugged into the top of that. So emission on the bottom, transparent on the top, and that's all coming from this black and white image that we're generating. And there you go. And again, we're just going to select our purple lightning effect is what we want for our emission, not our transparent. So let's go ahead and do that. And I almost want, yeah, that's pretty good. Let's just change the strength of this to be a little bit less. And then now if we could scale that up, now we've got this extra little lightning kind of coming from our muzzle flash effect that we were working on. In 3D space, let's just place this right up against that muzzle flash. Maybe not having any lightning here would be ideal. It's like that. And then probably doing another mix shader. This is how we can animate it. Do another mix shader here. Transparent BSDF on the bottom. And then this is going to set how much it's visible. So we're going to set a keyframe on frame 18 of it completely visible. And then here we will set the keyframe of it being completely not visible. And we will make sure that's a keyframe as well. So boom, you've got your lightning effect happening as well. And we can always mix more stuff on here if we want to in the future. Kind of want to offset this though. So let's do start frame. I like that a little bit better. It's like finding that that right area where we're gonna want it. So boom, boom. And then just set that final keyframe to like right here. Or no, that keyframe. Perfect. Awesome. We can even duplicate all that stuff. Should have been 1,000 people watching your live? Yeah, maybe one day. Gonna duplicate this, scale it up for this side over here, I think. Just adding a few extra of these flares would be cool. Here, let's just move this arc downwards. All starts, though, with you guys just liking the stream. If you guys are enjoying it, then make sure to hit that like button. pretty cool. Probably rotate this one. Let's see. It's just a little bit of detailing on the top of this muzzle flash here. And this one, just add that keyframe there, so that way it's the top of the. That's pretty nice. Save that. Make sure that's good. Oh man. Oh, stretch time. Ooh. Ah. For these guys, set them to like 0.01 for the electricity amount. They don't need to be like super bright. They're just kind of like that extra little like lightning effect that we have there. We can always increase that like slightly, but I don't want it to be as bright as the other muzzle flash. It's not supposed to be lighting up the scene. Whereas this, however, is supposed to light up the scene. Do that, add. It's pretty nice. Okay, go ahead and save that. Yeah, things are going a little slower today than I was hoping for, honestly. We might just continue the stream next week, guys, with some more of this stuff, because I'm running out of energy here. I always hate it. Like when I start to, I just finished doing these 10-hour work days, so next week should be a little bit nicer. But let's add some atmosphere in here, so that way we kind of like have a little bit more of the setting set up, and then we will probably come back next week to do a little bit more of the actual art of Jinx. Let's see, what are we going for here for the atmosphere? Another easy thing to do with atmosphere that I just love is adding in a tiny little bit of a like some kind of like fog effect. So if you just add a cube in, and then inside of this cube, let's go ahead and place this. Let's just first of all call it fog, and then I'm going to create a new material for it called fog. And let's see, let's do vertical split here so I can just access this a little bit easier. We will create a, let's see, a volume scatter node. Plug this into volume. And then change the density of this to be quite a bit less. But the anisotropy we want to increase. This is going to give us more of those light ray effects that we want inside of our scene. And obviously, the more we increase the density of this, the harder it is going to be for us to see our actor. But she's inside of like this smoky bridge setup, so we're going to want to use a little bit of this atmosphere to help sell that and create this like bloom-like effects that we're having on her. And because of that, we actually probably want to have some moonlight in there. So let's create another area light off to the back here. And then this is going to be a little bit more blue in contrast to the rest of our scene. And that's going to create more of that blue light on the ground back here before we even get into shading. So it's kind of just like going to give us more detail for free. And create kind of like that, those outlines on our fence back there that will catch everything really nicely. If you don't want, like for instance, this light right here, if you don't want this light to be blooming the atmosphere unnaturally, you can always go into your object settings here, and then under visibility, unselect volume scatter. That way it'll still light our actor, but it won't light all of that foggy smoke that we're going to have in the air, which may work better for us. And you can do that for all of your objects. So like these muzzle flashes, you might not want them to light that environment up too much. But for us, I actually think that works really nicely. I just don't want this light coming off that's lighting our actor, which is what we're using to light our actor, because the muzzle flash isn't lighting our actor completely. So we're using this additional light, but I don't want it to travel through that volume scatter and slow down everything. Cool. So there we go. That's a lot of the lighting that we're doing for the shot. Next week, we'll probably come back here and then start doing a lot of the texture painting on our actor, and get everything like that really lined up. Let's see. It's funny because I did say that I was going to be doing texturing inside of the title of the video, and I apologize for that. I'll change the title of this to be more like lighting, because that's mostly what we focused on today, was lighting and muzzle flashes. I think that we could probably get some of the... You know what? Screw it. Let's do some base textures. We're not going to end the stream yet. Okay? We're not going to end. It's fine. I'm going to set the viewport display of this cube to be wireframe, so that way we can actually just see our actor. We spent most of our time animating today. That's just what took up a lot of time. Set that all to wireframe. I don't want to have to see you in my viewport as I'm selecting my actor. Let's go ahead and save everything as we're moving along here. We already have some materials created for this, so we can just get started on a lot of this. For instance, our character skin color for our model of Jinx. I think using reference images is really important when doing this. So that way we kind of know what our character is going to look like, whether it be concept art or what it is. It's really helpful to use reference images to know where we're trying to go. Otherwise, you're just shooting in the dark. In our particular case, we're actually trying to recreate a specific character. So let's go ahead and minimize this window, and I'm just going to keep this up as we're doing this. We'll have to do her eyes and everything as well later, but kind of the trick with the advanced animation work, don't worry if you don't make texture. I know, I feel a little bad because I said that I was going to be doing texturing today, so I don't want to have like false advertisements. We can get started with at least creating the base textures. There's a lot of texture painting work that we're going to have to do, so we're definitely going to have to do that next week. But I already kind of knew that we were going to do a whole nother stream for this. So here's the thing with Arcane. Arcane has this hand-painted feel to it. And in Blender, everything is very 3D. So you're getting shadows, you're getting all of that stuff on top of your actual work. So in order for us to be able to get that, there's a few things that we could do. We could use the Toon BSDF inside of Blender, and that gives you a more of a... kind of like toon effect. It's in the name, obviously. I'm going to take our atmosphere here because it's just making it a little hard to see everything right now, but just going to disable that for right now. And let's just look at our actor as we're working on it here. It'll give us more of a toon effect of the harder shadows of how everything is going to look. And then of course you've got your color. We could just use a texture that we're plugging directly into this. In our case, I'm just going to use an RGB for right now, and let's just find her color of her skin. So let's see. She's very white. Plug that into it. And of course we can, inside of our reference of our image here, we can see how her skin is kind of reacting in this particular case. Kind of a little more yellowy. almost like trying to counter the magenta. I think we shouldn't try countering the magenta. We should try lighting her a little bit better. If we hit something like that, that's a little bit closer to what we want. And then if we take our area light that we have that is creating this frontal light, if we hit it less magenta and we hit it more yellow, like we have in our reference image, might get a little bit closer to what we want. It is kind of warm. One second. Let's keep that there, and then let's do something like that for the skin. And then let's add another area light in. Let's see. And then this area light is going to wash everything out a little bit more, but then more importantly, probably just give it a slight tinge of yellow. Nice. And that's going to give us those deeper shadows on the inside of her arm here to match. I also think that our size of it, let's see, we probably want the spread to be a little harsher. I guess we could keep it at 180 and then just change our tune effect, because our size is where this is being controlled. That's more smooth, and this is creating more of a contrasty look. Let's grab our other area light that we have here. Let's see, where are we pointed on it? There we go. Want more of a fill, basically, and then we'll just change the overall wattage. Okay. And then the guess we don't have any of the hair yet, but we can get all of that. So we have the pants. These are going to be a little more red anyways. I don't know why I don't have... Oh my gosh. I thought I already did all of this. No way, guys. Thought we already did this. Did we not? There's our shirt. Let's just make that a little darker. Let's see if that comes through. Yeah, it does. Perfect. The shirt is done. Or I'm just adding the basic textures in here. I'm not saying it's done, but you know, skin, gloves, we'll just darken those as well for right now. Let's see. This arm should have a glove on it. Deselect that. Deselect this guy. It's just a glove. There we go. Assign. And then she has different colored pants. The boots. Which I guess I created the material for the boots, but I never actually assigned the texture to it. So just kind of creating the rough materials here. And then I did get this pretty cool, let's just see how that looks. Nice. Probably have to do her hair as well. So, oh, I already have a hair thing, so we'll just go ahead and make those blue. Got that powder blue hair, dude. Oh, that's where she gets the name Powder. But isn't that kind of like a problem? Violet isn't... Her hair's not violet. It's pink. Is that not a problem? Let's change this to be a little less saturated. I guess it does need to be more saturated. Let's save that. Okay, great. So now we have our skin material that is kind of doing everything. Her pants are not panting for me. Let's make sure that her pants have their own thing. Deselect everything here. Oh, that's right. That's why. I think I know what happened. I know what happened. I know why we are having this problem right now. And it's fine. It's just a mistake that I made last week. So I'll update the project files with these new materials and everything over on the Patreon once this is done. I do want to try just today the so I got the extension that Blender Studios released of the like painterly effect that they have built into Blender now that they used on Project Gold. So I am applying general parameters right now of the different clothes and stuff like that, which then we will do our own painted kind of like effect of where everything is. And then on top of all of that, we will use their painted stroke style. Let's see. Our gun still doesn't have shaders on it. We need our eyes. Our eyes have no materials on them. I was kind of thinking about going more with these kind of like neon eyes. Pupil. Let's assign all of that. And then this pupil here, let's just make it black real quick so we can see what we're doing. For right now, we'll just select everything. Oopsies. For right now, let's just select everything in the center here and then assign that to the pupil. We do have some clipping that's kind of happening here from our bones. I think it's from this bone right here. Go to this guy and then there we go. Now obviously she doesn't have black eyes, but that's fine. I just wanted to make it so it was visible. or that we had made a change. I think I accidentally had our pants selected when we were... No. whites. Oh, there we go. Let's just do it this way. So we deselect everything there. Pants assign. And then, yeah, as I said, we'll just get more into the texturing next week. Doing all the actual texturing for this. We're going to hand paint the pants to have those lines in them. And then, of course, we're going to use the Blender Extensions add-on to get that kind of like painted effect. I think creating the brush strokes to be really small is going to be the trick, because the brush strokes are default pretty big. So we will do that, of course, next week. The animation took a little bit longer this week than I was expecting it to, honestly. But this is kind of where we're at, guys. We have like a full-blown animation right now of our actor. Everything is good as far as that's concerned. We have the muzzle flash hand-painted in there as well. Oh my god. I'm realizing all sorts of problems with our rig right now, or our animation. How did we miss this? Looks like we have to fix some problems real quick before we end stream, because there's no way I'm ending stream with this. No way! What the heck? Okay. And then... That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. There's always things to fix. No way! I don't know how I missed that. I think I was so focused on the other hand that I never even paid attention to this one. That looks pretty good. Doesn't really connect for me. That looks good. I like that. Okay, so there you go. Just cleaning up a final animation. These project files, as I said, will be available over on the Patreon. So if you guys want to grab these and then do your own stuff with it, then feel free. I would love to see some of your guys' animation work that you use with this character going forward. The muzzle flash and all that stuff will be up there as well. So if you guys want to use that for whatever you want, go for it. But without a further ado, I think that's going to be it for today. Next week, we'll come back, finish up some of the texturing work. We don't have an animation to worry about next week, so we'll just focus on making sure that the texturing is good. We'll probably then render out like a still image and then comp it on stream there, and then I'll just render out the rest of the sequence off stream. So that way we don't have to worry about another stream that's just going to be compositing, because the compositing work on this is going to be pretty slim to none. But thank you guys so much for joining today's live stream. If you guys haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. It really helps out the stream. Oh, a good dad joke. Let's finish off with a dad joke. What do you call? No. Why does it have to give the same one as before? That sucks. No, that's lame. Wait a second. That's not fair. That's not fair. I'm going to edit it so that way it can go faster, because right now it's 120 seconds. I'm going to keep the global cooldown to like 0. That's a pretty lame one. Well, it's not lame. It just, we already got it. I wish that it wouldn't do the same ones. Like if it knew, what do you call a fake spaghetti? Oh, it's doing the same one as before. I'm going to have to fix that. If it's going to do the same one over and over again, that's not cool. It's got to like check it off the list and then not give you that dad joke. Better not be the tire one. Okay, here we go. Why don't eggs tell jokes? They'd crack each other up. There's your guys' dad joke for the day. Thank you guys for joining today's stream. You guys can grab these project files over the Patreon. I'll see you guys next week when we finish up the stream. But you guys have a good one. Thanks for joining. Bye.